Hey guys, how you going? It's me, Mega Sasuke, and just a quick disclaimer before we get into the video. During the recording of the main segment of the video, the gameplay part, the audio files played up in the recording, so unfortunately there's going to be some issues with that. I'm terribly sorry, I really apologize for that, guys, but I do recommend that you still listen to it because there is some valuable information in regards to time management and unit production, so please watch it if you're interested in that aspect of the British faction. If not, I'll leave a timestamp down in the description below. Please click on that if you want to jump straight to the Q&A segment of the video. It'll be towards the later half, the second half of the video. So if that's what you're more interested in and hearing my comments and feedback and responses to some of the questions and comments on my previous videos, yeah, just go click that link and have a watch of that. But apart from that, guys, enjoy the rest of the video. Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Mega Sasuke, and welcome back to another Comedy of Heroes 2 strategy gameplay video. British strategy gameplay video. Oh man, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I finally decided to revisit. You guys really requested this highly requested video of another British strategy gameplay video. So here it is. Today, guys, we're going to be doing something as requested by one of the commenters in the comment section. We'll be doing a 1v1 situation with the British faction against standard AI. So without further ado, I want to set up the game. Also guys, at the end of this video, I will be adding in a Q&A answering everyone's comment questions in the YouTube comments. I'll go through them at the very end, and I'll just answer them as best as I possibly can. Hopefully that'll clear up some things for you guys. And if you guys have any other questions regarding this game, and after this video, if you have any questions regarding my strategy in this video, please leave a comment down below, and I will do another Q&A follow-up, just to answer any more questions that you guys have in regards to this game in the future. We'll do what's a good map? We'll do a British map. We'll do the Arnhem checkpoint. It's a British DLC map. Okay, cool. Let's look at the options. 500 point victory points, no mods, standard resources, random locations, disable cop tech. Awesome. Okay, cool. And let's get into it. Alrighty, so here we are. We just started. So as I explained in one of my first videos, I believe, it was talking about pathways. So first point of call is to make a pathway and capture points. So for this one, I'm going to be doing the right hand side first of the screen, selecting my commander. This will all be done real time, so I'll do this as quickly as I possibly can. Selecting a church as my primary defensive location for my machine gun unit. I got a full 360-degree arc of fire, which will be useful for defending that middle star point, which will be a critical point for me to hold in this map, I believe. I think there's one over here that could be defended well through this building, but I think I'm going to focus on the top right as well. It's a bit harder to defend that one, actually. We'll see how the game, once we get more resources, the better off we'll be in the long term. So I've spawned another rifle squad immediately, so I can start capping the other strategic points. This is relatively, I wouldn't say it's unorthodox for the British faction to spawn a rifle squad as their second spawn, but for the 1v1 situation, I need more boots on grounds capping points than I do need defensive units right now. Like I said, if this was a 4v4 or a 3v3 situation, it'd be less of a priority to get a second rifle squad out. But now that we've got the position, we can counter their engineers pretty much straight away. So we'll cap that point, cap this point, cap this point, and then we'll cap the star point. Star point, we kept that point up there. Okay, cool. Upgrade platoon command post. So we cleared off the engineering unit, off the victory point. That's why it's paramount to get the machine gun unit straight out. That's the first thing you want to get as a British faction in the priority of build order, is the machine gun unit. And even though they capped the point, that means they don't have a troop on the field, means you have to go back and use manpower to replenish that troop because they wasted it on taking a victory point at the expense of soldiers. So we've already halted one of them, so I'm going to cap this point. I'm going to station this rifle squad actually in this area. Probably going to build some defensive positions around here as well, just to be safe. So he's going to cap that. They've already capped 2 points, so we have to move fast if we're going to win this. I can probably cap this point. I won't worry about that left side. I'm going to just take this and then the star. But that's primary build coming out. If we grab another, I don't think I need another rifle squad. I think I explained in another video that even though this is the build order, this is like the standard build order, it changes depending on situation. You got to be flexible and know the faction, that certain things work, certain things don't work. So get behind hard cover because I'm going to need it when these guys start getting in that building. There we go. And just to finish it off, cap that, get in that building and have a good firing position. AT gun out as soon as I possibly can. I'm gonna have to cut these guys off because they're cutting off my supplies. What to do? Cap this. Get hard cover, take out these engineers. Weapons? No, I won't do a weapons rack. I'll save up and do both. Good cover, got a machine gun supporting. That squad got wiped, or didn't get wiped, but got removed. Another squad coming up to try to take the point. We can hold that position behind hard cover. So of course it's going to be a lot more stressful. It's going to be less... there's going to be a lot more pressure to hold certain points on this map. So we're going to put a Bofors actually. Preferably within striking distance of the star point and other points of the map. So we're going to put it there. So we get to cover the star point here, cover the northern entrance here, cover the south and the west as well. This is a perfect location or prime location for defending against standard AI. They may have mortars, which can be an issue, will be an issue if they decide to mortar strike, because it's a bit too close to my machine gun. But obviously I can move that off because now I've got a Bofors. I can just move my machine gun into one of these side buildings and cover this angle, which I might do because these points connect our victory point to the center point, which is important for us. Okay, so all that's being built. I've got to think about what I'm going to build next. I have a anti-tank gun already. I don't need another one yet. Okay, it's not in really good cover, but that's okay for now. Okay, we need to prioritize building a mortar pit or something along those lines up here. We might actually get a second machine gun. I'm not sure. I might just save up and build a Bofors on this point up here. If that's the case, we can just hold for now. I could get a third rifle squad, but I just won't for now. So now that point's defended, I can start moving 2 infantry squads up here to kind of alleviate any pressure. So we've got hard cover. We should win this fight. We should win this fight. I can just take their resources, just harass them, like slowly but surely get rid of their hold of this position. Should be good to go. That rifleman should die or retreat at least. Take his point. Squad's going off. I might need to alleviate them. Okay, Bofors firing away, protecting the position. If I can get this, I might be able to build a Bofors forward of the position. Yeah, this would be a good idea. And just enough so I can cover the star point from here, and also any of the northern approaches they can take. This might be my hard point. I might start defending that position a little bit more than I would usually. This will be like the forward defensive position, and I'll make a rear one on the center because the center forward line with the FOV. Okay. It's alright. The AI is stupid. So just to the commenter who wanted to know about a 1v1 situation, it is possible. It's just a little bit more micromanagement involved, a little bit more thinking ahead, forward thinking, planning how you're going to go about your strategy. And you'll sometimes come across a situation where you're like, oh, this is a really good idea, and then you'll capitalize on it. So there we go. We got our Bofers going. That's good. Get these guys behind hard cover. Try to cut them off. Get these infantry up here to cap the point again. And we're set. We're ready to go. Okay, we're in a good position. We need another anti-tank gun to defend this. Bofers up here. There you go. No hope. Get an upgrade. Give this one an upgrade as well for shields. Just to give it a little bit extra protection. That SWAT got wiped. That's a big dint on the enemy AI. Take this back so we can start collecting points again. We might build a fuel cache soon. We've got enough resources too as well. That'd be a good priority to make. So that's the second anti-tank gun out. So we've won the early game. The early game is out. So we've clearly got the advantage in every sort of situation. The most star points so far, as well as the most units on the field right now. I think we have an advantage over them. So again, they're going to send more guns and more things to try to flank. It's not going to work out because we've got all points covered by this Bofers. Anti-tank gun has been dismantled. I might take it from them and use it against them. Okay, so we've got this point here. We're going to build a fuel cache on it. We're going to build a mortar pit soon. We've got the anti-tank guns out. We've got the Bofers out. So we're going to be pretty solid on this position. I want to make sure I can counter or cover all bases. Sorry, I want to make sure I can cover all bases. Okay. Got another fuel cache over here. That engineer dude's gonna get destroyed when he comes around that corner. Rip. See you later, mate. Standard AI aren't really a good placeholder for a competitive sort of situation. It's relatively easy. I think a good AI standard to verse in a 1v1 situation would either be hard or very hard. Probably hard is probably your go-to. Push up that position, no way we're going to win that fight. That's why we got this anti-tank gun just in case. So we have backup in case that situation happens. And we've got a Bofers covering it, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. In situations where you know you're going to lose, there's no point keeping a unit there. Okay, it's much better to save the unit than it is to risk losing it. Unless you are doing it for a specific reason, you want to delay them while you get another troop up to destroy them at the same time, then that's more viable. But generally, rule of thumb, if you're going up against flamethrowers as an infantry squad, it's probably best to retreat because you're probably going to lose 9 times out of 10 that fight, and you won't even hold it for very long because flames do a lot of damage early on. And the longer you leave it there, the more they get destroyed. So they're capturing a capture point, I believe. I can push an infantry squad up. I might make a forward assembly at this point here. Machine guns, both is going ham, and that flame unit is dead. It's going to die. No hope. I might actually build a depth machine gun pit here, which could be useful. Yeah, I might do that actually. I have spare resources. I can afford a second machine gun unit. It saves me having to. Oh shit, maybe not. Right now. Push back, get behind hard cover. Okay, we can probably deal with that. Get our machine gun unit out. Okay, forward assembly is almost built. Anti-tank gun's still waiting for a half track to come around. That's going to hold out for a long time. AI are pretty stupid, so I can get this machine gun on this rifle squad relatively quick. Alright, so as per the strategy video guide that I showed you before, we're going to get one of each. This is just helps me diversify the unit a little bit more. We're going to make this stand a forward retreat point. Oh no, yeah, we're going to make it a forward retreat point. I'm not going to make it advanced assembly. There's no buildings nearby. That'll just ensure that these guys are going to get pinned down. I want to push my units up to try to take them out. So put pressure on them to retreat. There we go. They're going to try to pull out. Yeah, one unit yellow from their mind. Oh, shit. Probably turn this anti-tank gun around and take it out quicker. Retreat that rifle squad. Just going to keep dying otherwise. Anti-tank gun hitting from the flank. Perfect. Machine gun, anti-tank gun on the flank. Machine gun pull out. That anti-tank gun's gone. It's going to destroy it. There we go. Happy days. Push this rifle squad back up here. Let's build that point we said we're going to build. We'll go build that pit here. Just for flank security. Once we heal those machine guns, we'll put it in that pit. And we should be good to go. Happy days. Upgrade this one to a medic unit because I might want to heal the machine gun and this unit at the same time. Give it a couple different guns, sorry. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a problem. They have Panzerschrecks, so that might be useful against my Bofors. But if they don't fire on me, then I should be fine. Okay. Again, the standard AI isn't a really good placeholder for a 1v1 situation. If you're at that skill level though, and you are struggling, then totally fine. By all means, keep going, keep practicing, because you only get better with time. You put a mortar pit there, well behind cover, and got a good arc across all kind of in the center. Actually, it's a really good spot, covering both victory points. I only try to go for 2 victory points on a 1v1 situation. But if I can, I'll go for the 3rd, but that'll come later, of course. It's not a priority for me right now. Okay, so I'm going to move this anti-tank gun up to here. Not that it really matters. The Bofors is still good against the Puma. The main gun's destroyed, so it's going to be out of action for a little bit. We might move it, yeah, we move it there. That's a good spot. Just behind enough cover, and it's a good flanking spot against tank pushes, or vehicle pushes. Sorry, mumbling a little bit there. Okay, so that machine gun unit, push her up to here. You got to get the squads up. We push these guys over here, take this point up here. Actually, we might build a... No, we'll take this point up here. Okay. These fellas, we might, okay, they're trying to take this point over here. Oh, they're moving around the flank. It's not really a smart idea for them. I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe there's a reason. There's a vehicle over here, I know that. But if we can just get behind cover, or move from cover to cover, we might be able to beat it. Shoot out of there, can't win that fight. It's an MG42. I swear I saw a vehicle come through here. Didn't you see the thing crack? What the hell? Maybe. Could always just put a 3rd Bofors. That'll like max out my population cap, so I don't really want to do that. I might just put a defensive position here, and then station my riflemen there because they got Piats and Bren guns, so they should be. These guys aren't going to take that point with that Bofors still on it. I'll leave these dudes here. There. So I've got enough of a rifle squad up here. I've got 1 rifle squad up here. Or was 1 rifle squad. Past tense, there was 1 up there. They're going to move one back up there. We'll just leave these guys here for now, just in case they have Pumas or whatever they send this way. Don't want them capping this point because this is our main munition source. We can upgrade to a company command post. Might as well get some vehicles, some tanks for some maneuverability. I didn't show you this in any of my previous videos, so this will be a good opportunity too. So Piats, Bren guns, that's a good defensive position against light vehicles, which is what I was banking on. So this tank is going to die. The SDKFZ is going to die if it keeps trying to push it. That's all I wanted to do, was just to prevent them from taking that left flank and coming around the back. So with that being said, wait till that company command post is done. We're getting hit by a heavier vehicle. No, Puma still? Okay. Mr. Puma. Prioritize vehicles for that anti-tank gun. Okay, can we build any more points? We can build a point. We might build another fuel cache here. Okay, company command post. Awesome. We might get a Sherman Fireflies at first. Might be useful. Oh, didn't even need to use my anti-tank gun. It died that quickly. And the mortars came in to finish it off. Just in case there's any stragglers. Yeah. Okay, so, we need a sniper? We don't need a sniper, it's pointless. We can get a AA tank, a cruiser tank, and then I'm going to save the Sherman. I might go, you don't have any engineers, so I don't need to go this. You've got airburst shells, but I don't really need artillery. Churchill's not really useful. We'll get the common tank. I'll show you what the common tank can do. And it's probably more prevalent in this situation. At this point, I'm ready for a build-up for a base rush or a third capture point attack. I can probably start seizing this point here. But I don't really need to, but I can if I want to. Now's the prep phase. In the final phase of the British faction, if you have the upper hand, majority of star points and capture points, it's probably best to move units out, take points here and there, just harass them essentially. And if you can build up tanks, which is what Germans usually do really well, so they send units out to just keep capturing points and building tanks as they go. Then that'll be a secure victory then at that point. If the enemy has no resources, you've won. That's what I'm saying. They can't produce units, then you've won. So by cutting off supply lines, by taking points, you can essentially win the game. Let them go. Trying to stop them. Capture this point, deny them their munition resources so they can stop building those Panzerschreck units. Now we can afford a Comet tank, which is what I'm going to produce first. I was going to produce a Sherman Firefly, but this will be good for just a showcase of the Comet tank's abilities and capabilities. I'm going to send another tank over here. Hopefully, I don't think it'll do very well, but it might, you never know. Can I turn this? Is this? Oh, the range does reach there. Holy shit. Okay. There we go. What do you know? The more you know. Oh, I missed. It keeps missing. Okay, that's time to get out. That's when you know it's time to leave. When they get the flame vehicles in. Hit that, hit that, hit that. Just fire in that area. There we go. Even if you can't see them, you can just fire in that general area. Now we get a Comet tank, which is what I was looking for. Hold fire. Comet tank pushing up. Getting my rifle squad back in the fight. Healing. Better line of sight. LOS. Now we can just put pressure on this point. They don't think they have any anti-tank guns, so we should be fine. We clear this guy out. Good thing about these specialist tanks is they have grenades, so you can just like frag out people. And that'll just put pressure on them to react to that. So I can move my infantry unit up and probably capture that point now. So this is a good thing about British. It takes a while to get to the vehicle stage if you want to play the traditional way, the meta way essentially. So let's kill this sniper. Snipers are they're like butter. They just get destroyed so easily. Tank's going to die straight away. I'm going to throw a grenade there as well to clear out the engineers from healing it. that sniper. That'd be an important asset to get rid of. I was going to drop a bombardment there, but there's no point. I'm just going to do it for fun. We might just circle around and clear this infantry. The machine gun unit off position. But at this point, it's pretty much game over for them. They don't really have to me. As soon as I say that, I'm going to eat my words because they just sent a panther after me. As soon as I say that, I gamma bomb it actually. Then I'm going to run away. Boom. That gun is almost dead. So that tank is almost dead. There we go, and it's gone. That was not very challenging at all. Move this infantry squad in there. I might switch my infantry units around once this guy comes back in. I don't know what that machine gun's thinking. We can clear it out. Combat tank's pretty versatile. I wouldn't say it's a specialist tank. It's more of an anti-tank tank than a anti-infantry tank, but it's still it can still be used for clearing out infantry. It's kind of like a it's kind of similar to a Panther in the way that it operates. So it's slightly more effective against infantry, but for the most part, it's yeah, it's just an all-rounder sort of good tank. If I can afford a Sherman Firefly, that doesn't really matter. Generally, the build order, I would never usually build a combat tank in any of my gameplay videos. You would notice that I don't really prioritize getting a combat tank at all. It's more of a this guy's up actually. It's just more of a fun thing to add. If you have the resources and you're winning, you have the advantage, might as well throw it in there. Otherwise, I just go for a Sherman Firefly and an AA Centaur tank. That's generally how I do it. But might as well just bomb them, have enough resource. It's a bit of an overkill, conglomerate waste of resources, but we've won at this point. Just so you guys know, the Q&A, I'll add that at the very end of the video, and we'll just go through all your questions, and I'll try to answer them as best as I possibly can. But that should be about it. I sent another one there. Well, that should be pretty much the end of the video at that point. So I might end up fast forwarding this to the end, because right now, as you guys are probably aware, that this is already done. We've pretty much won at this point. There's no real contest. It's just a wait till the end of the game, essentially. We've got 3 victory points. They have no counter to my units right now. Can't afford that. It's too much pop ram, so we might even just get a Centaur. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much over, guys. So we might fast forward to the end, and I'll just get straight to the Q&A. Alright, see you then. Okay, guys, that wraps up today's gameplay video of Company Heroes 2. Hope you guys did enjoy it. I'm terribly sorry for the audio quality in the video. I'm not sure if I will go back and change it. I might just leave it in there, only because the comments and the stuff that I was telling you at the time of the gameplay are probably more relevant than me going over and dubbing it again. So I'm just terribly sorry if that's an issue for you guys. Don't worry, in the future I am in the market to buy a new microphone. Currently my microphone's been playing up lately, so it's kind of annoying when you've recorded like as long as recording as I did on the full gameplay and having to go back and redo it again and again. So I'll just leave it in there for now. I'm terribly sorry about that, but moving on to the Q&A. So this is what we're here for, the Q&A, the questions, answering all your questions in the comments down below. And all your comments as well, just in general. So the first comment we have from the episode 2 of my Company Heroes gameplay series is is by P. Sherman, Wallaby Tank Gaming. He said, "Nice guy, dude. Just wondering, what do you use to record your videos with?" So I responded, he obviously replied back, so he got the message. But for anyone else who wonders what I'm using to record my video gameplay footage is I use OBS, so I use OBS Studio for that, and for my recording software I use Sony Vegas Home Studio. That's the 2 software pieces that I use for recording and editing videos. I use Sony Vegas Home Studio. Homie. No, I use Sony Vegas home studio because it is a good software. It does cost money to get. It's like $90 something or $100 something. I can't remember. Alternatively, you could just get a pirated copy, but I don't really recommend that because I believe that if you use something, from a moral point of view, if you use something, you might as well pay for it. But hopefully that answers anyone else's questions about what I use to record with. But yeah. Next comment is by Fallen. He says, good video, but one point about cover. Grey dots mean open field. That's true, but red dots don't mean broken cover. Red dots are essentially no cover, like roads and stuff. You don't want your infantry standing there, they will get melted. Okay, I did respond. Did I respond? I don't think I respond. But in response to that comment, thank you so much, Fallen, for clarifying that for my audience and for myself especially. I actually didn't realize what broken or that red cover was up until you told me. You clarified that. So thank you so much for that. It is true that in any situation, you don't want any troops in red cover or the red shield with a crack in it. Your troops do get melted. I just didn't know specifically what it was called, but try to avoid that at all costs. Thank you so much, Fallen, for clarifying that. Really appreciate it, dude. Another comment by MaxKeel1701. He says, why does the vid start with R6? So in response to that, MaxKeel1701, that was during a time when I was definitely starting out my YouTube content creation. It wasn't nearly as professional as it is now. Probably still not very professional with my audio settings, but don't worry, in the future that won't happen again. That was just basically because that was the first sort of videos I made in regards to my YouTube content creation. So thank you so much for commenting that. I will fix that in the future. Next comment by John Candlestick Wick, Mega Sasuke. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Don't know how to respond to that, but moving on. The Boars Sheppy 13 comments, hey dude, just thought I'd say that this is an excellent guide. I'm very experienced in strategy games, but found I was lacking the ability to play the British forces on this particular game. I think it is primarily because of the build orders that I would use. I find that in general the faction has weak units compared to other factions, and thus I struggle to keep/hold ground even when I have a decent counter positioning. Okay, just to answer that first part, it's completely understandable. It is at the very beginning, a lot of people do struggle with swapping factions. Even I do struggle with swapping factions. Like because I'm a British main faction player, I find it difficult to swap to like a Soviet build structure or a Soviet strategy, or Americans, or even Germans for that matter. It's very difficult to chop around, even though Germans are very similar in their build cycles or their build prioritizations. But even if you do have a decent counter, it can be difficult to just combat the overall quality of German units in the game. It's a struggle I deal with daily or regularly whenever I play online. But like I said in my video, if you just maximize upon the 3 areas that I'm aforementioned in episode 2 of this series about prioritization, layering, pathway making. If you just focus on those 3 components, you generally can kind of counter it before. A lot of the counters come from understanding the meta as well, like knowing the online, how the German players play, and building a strategy around how you're going to beat that without having to focus on just reacting to their builds. For example, don't just build a unit because you saw an enemy build a specific unit. Be proactive and take in consideration what they're going to build in the future based on the meta. So they're going to build a tank in the next 5 minutes or so, then build anti-tank guns straight away and get them in position ready for them. Like, be ahead of them, essentially, is what I'm saying. Don't wait for them to act before they do. That's probably the best way to go about it, is getting those units out and understanding who you're versing in the future. You're trying. He also says, I'm trying a new defensive strat and going straight for Royal Engineer /40mm cannon. By the time I get it out, though, the opponent would have a tank or so, and I wouldn't be able to do much. Okay, so that's a conundrum. It affects a lot of players, and especially when it comes to starting as a new player in Comedy of Heroes. It's a problem that faces pretty much everyone, and that's understanding your time management skills and understanding your prioritization in relation to time management. So my general rule of thumb for early game British faction is this is only if you have the advanced emplacement regiment. which I usually play all the time exclusively, is to try to get out in build order. Machine gun unit first. It's the first thing you produce, followed by a second rifle squad, followed by the platoon command post, followed by the Bofors cannon. Okay. Obviously, this is all happening in real time, so it's not really easy to implement. You just got to get used to the pattern of building those as a first early game build order as that. But once you get used to it, my friend, like, it'll be a lot easier to counter the Germans, and they do get tanks out early. So maybe if you can't get the Bofors out, or you think it's unviable to get the Bofors out if they get their tanks before you do, which just comes down to time management. You can get your Bofors out before they get their tanks, but if it comes out to that point, prioritize getting anti-tank guns before Bofors, and you will be able to counter the anti-tank threat. The tank threat, because chances are, if they're getting tanks out before they're getting infantry out, before you get your Bofors out, they're prioritizing their vehicle construction over their infantry output. So that means you can kind of counter with a anti-tank gun and not have to worry about a push from infantry units if it's an early game issue or a mid-game issue. So it's just about shifting the build order, being flexible, but having a set build order in place to counter it ahead of time, and then adjusting as you go if you find it's too difficult to counter. But thanks so much for the comment. I did leave a response as well. If you want to go back and read that through, if anyone else wants to go back and read it, I did leave a response. It's kind of basically what I just said then, but a little bit more in depth. But yeah, thanks so much for that question. Next comment is by MaxKeel1701. Okay, I'm at 6:12, and before I watch the video any further, I have to tell you how annoying it is when you won't hold the camera still for a second. Makes it unwatchable for me. Thanks, MaxKeel, for the criticism in the comment, by the way. Really appreciate it, my dude. In response to that, I would say that I do struggle. This is as a quote-unquote gamer, as someone who plays video games a lot. I do have a habit of during downtimes or down periods when I'm not doing a lot or I'm talking, I do have a habit of pressing keys or doing something with my hands to kind of keep my mind active. If that makes sense. Like I do it a lot with Rainbow Six and other FPS games as well, like CS:GO. I'll do like crouches, or I'll pan left to right, or strafe left to right, or quick lean on Rainbow Six or whatever. So it's just something, just anything, knifing in the air, for example, or switching between guns on CS:GO with the scroll key, like rapidly. If any of you guys played CS:GO, that's kind of a thing that you do, just a pastime. But yeah, no, it's a habit I got to get out of doing, especially for these commentary videos that you guys want to watch. So I do apologize. I'm working on it. I will try to get better at it in the future, but hopefully that answers your question as to why I kind of do that. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue that you can't watch the rest of the video, because I do think that the content that I put out is important, or not necessarily important, but is useful if you want to get better understanding of the British factions. So if you could please bear with me while I get better at managing that that annoying fidgeting, then yeah, it's definitely well worth it. So thanks so much for the comment, really appreciate it, dude. Next comment, John Candlestick again. Please respond. I did leave a response, but I didn't get a reply. So hey man, this is my response. Next comment, Ivan Voronov. Very well done. Keep making videos. Thank you, Ivan. I really appreciate that comment, dude. I'll continue making these Comedy Heroes 2 videos for you and everyone else, so thanks, Ivan. Next comment, what question mark? Good build, one problem. You won't have fuel to make a command post by the time you have one Vickers out. Oh yeah, in that video I did take my time with explaining things, and of course obviously my resources built up really quickly, so I could afford to get the Bofors out straight away. But I did leave a comment explaining that, but just to clarify, in real time, hopefully this video actually helps you with it as well. This video shows like a close to realistic build order, build time management of what I have to do. But yeah, for that video, it was just kind of more of me explaining things as I go and trying to show you the different units more so than the build orders. But hopefully this video clarifies that, and I can show you the build orders in real time. So thanks for the comment, really appreciate that, man. Kevin Lopez says, I just picked this game up, hope you see more vids, bro. Thanks a lot, Kevin, really appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Hope you've subscribed. I will continue to make more videos like this. Hopefully you can learn something else as I go through these Q&As, as well as doing the gameplay video itself. But But yeah, stay tuned, my dude. I know there's definitely less updated guides as this game gets older, because less people are playing it, more people are playing more modern games, trying to keep up with, you know, the modern times, modern video games. But the Comedy Heroes 2 will always hold a special place in my heart, and I'll always come back to revisit it and talk about strategy and gameplay, because I genuinely love this game. It's one of the few RTS games that I genuinely love. But yeah, definitely stay tuned, dudes. Definitely stay tuned if you guys like this kind of stuff. And thank you, Kevin Lopez, for the lovely comment. Really appreciate it. The support means a lot to me, guys. Whenever you guys leave good comments, puts a smile on my face, makes me want to make more videos. So thank you so much for that. We'll go to the next video, which has 2 comments on it, episode 3. This will kind of wrap everything up, but we'll get in touch with it now, talk about it. So another comment by Ivan Voronov. Thank you so much for following me and keeping up to date with all my stuff, dude. Really appreciate it. He says, thank you, the only YouTube that's done a British strategy analysis. I'm not sure if I am the only one. Maybe I am, but there's a few YouTube names that comes to mind of like popular Comedy Heroes 2 reviewers or kind of like gameplay strategy guide people. But yeah, no, I definitely can understand how I could be one of the few people left that do make these videos. It's gotten to a point where the game's reached a certain age where people are less interested in it and are moved on to different games. So I hope that the people that do continue to play this game just because they enjoy RTS games do learn something from this. Like I said, I'm exclusively play British faction as my main faction, so I do think I have a valid sense of an idea of how to play them effectively. So if there's any questions, Ivan or anyone else in my comment sections, or anyone else watching this video, please leave it down in the comments below. I will answer this in a follow-up Q&A and probably a new gameplay video with a better mic. Fingers crossed. Thank you, Ivan. Really appreciate the love and support. Next comment, the last comment is by Casey Creation, and he says, can you do a full match tutorial tip on winning against standard AIs? I always seem to lose, even when I listen to your previous videos. Both Germans divisions intend to spam their flamethrower soldiers, flamethrower vehicles, and tanks. This is when I am playing 1v1. Okay, so hopefully this video did clarify all the above that you mentioned. As you did notice with the counter to flamethrower, there's not really a good counter for flamethrowers. Let's be real, let's be honest here. The only counter is to retreat, and then or have a anti-tank gun ready or a Bofors gun ready to take out those flame units. If you don't, it's probably best not to leave your infantry exposed to flame units. But I can understand the spam, the flamethrower spam. It's a tactic that people use. It's a viable solution to clearing out infantry in the early game. The Germans do get access to it on their Pioneer class with the flamethrowers, so it's difficult to counter. If you do have a machine gun unit on the position and they use a flamethrower unit to counter it, it's probably best to suppress them as quickly as possible, like be ready for it, because it's going to happen. But yeah, no, flamethrowers, it can definitely be a nuisance, and I hope this video kind of clarifies that. Versing AI, how to do it. But yeah, he also goes to say, I only can win, words, if I have an AI buddy with me, just like how it is displaying on your video now. Again, the British faction is all about teamwork and working it together as a team, more so than it is about being a 1v1 situation sort of faction. It's not really good for 1v1. It's more so anchored towards or built towards versing AI or versing teams. I can't even think straight today. It's really hot today, guys. I'm a bit frazzled. And he also continues to say, however, I recently had a good matchup of 4v4 with those emplacement turrets. Pretty deadly as hell. I managed to hold off 3 heavy tanks and even an elephant tank too. Yeah, no, that's impressive. I'm not sure if you're talking about the Bofors or you're talking about the anti-tank gun emplacement. But I'm assuming it's the anti-tank gun emplacement, which I will say is a effective use. It's a fun mechanic to use when you verse AI. I wouldn't say it's viable for online gameplay. I'm afraid it's too expensive and it takes up a lot of population room. Not to mention, by that point in the game, if you don't have a landslide lead against them, there's no point producing it. Only because there's just so many more better options, and you're probably going to be flat out using all your resources to resupply your units or heal your units, because they're going to be hammered a lot from German players because they want to get rid of you off the star points. But if you have the resources in online gameplay, by all means go for it. And AI matches is a lot easier to do. It's more fun, in fact, actually, to just see in your anti-tank gun emplacement just destroy a Tiger tank or a Panther tank. So I can completely understand that feeling of satisfaction when you see an elephant tank getting absolutely pummeled by a British anti-tank gun emplacement. So it's good to hear, man. Good to hear you're enjoying the British faction and you're having fun with the game. And that's the big thing I always like to say to you guys is like, no matter what you do, it doesn't matter like if you're trying to win the game or whatever, as long as you have fun. Just have fun. That's all I have to say. Well, that pretty much wraps up the Q&A and the gameplay video. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do leave a comment down below if you do have questions for future Q&As. I will cover them in the near future when I do more of these videos. Anything, just ask me anything you really want to know about this game, specifically towards British faction, but you can ask other factions as well. What do you reckon my opinions are on countering certain factions if you do want to try your hand at versing Oberkommando? I might make a video soon countering Oberkommando, because so far all I've done is against Wehrmacht. There might be a 1v1 situation I could probably do against Oberkommando, and if you guys want to see that, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to make a video on that, and if you guys want to see that, I will. So like I said, guys, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you guys dislike it, dislike it. This is me, Mega Sasuke, and I'll see you guys next time.
So this money shit, yeah, it's been on my mind, fuck your posse clip. I'ma pop off in time with the Tommy miss. Yeah, this how I slime, I'm out to see some tits. Yeah, your mommy is fine, hey. I'm a good boy, I don't hit no licks, yeah. I'm a bad boy, flexing with some chicks, yeah. I'm a weird boy, smoking on some grits, yeah. Who that boy? I'm that boy, yeah. Yeah, got the sauce on the course, I won't be selling it. Your mommy keep on asking me like, boy, how you keep yelling it? I'm dripping it on your bitch like a peppermint. She let me in, she told me.